So you've gotten the hang of the basics in SQL. You know, your selects, your froms, your wheres. But what if you want to do more? Today, we're going to jump past just grabbing data and unlock some real analytical muscle with 4 techniques that are going to change the game for you.
So let me ask you this. Are you ready to write queries that don't just fetch information, but actually think? Queries that can answer multiple questions at once and even create brand new information right on the fly? Because that's exactly where we're headed.
Here's our roadmap. We're going to grab 4 power-ups. First, we'll get our queries looking clean and tidy. Then, we'll dive into queries within queries. After that, we'll figure out how to unify our data, and finally, add some on-the-fly logic. Let's do this.
All right, first up, power-up number 1 is all about making your code clean, readable, and, frankly, more professional. We're talking about aliases. It's a simple little trick that makes a huge difference.
You've been there, right? You're joining a few tables, their names are super long and descriptive, the column names are kind of clunky, and pretty soon your query is just this tangled mess. I mean, it works, but good luck trying to figure out what it does 6 months from now.
And that is exactly where an alias comes to the rescue. Just think of it like a temporary nickname. You give a table or a column a little shorthand name that only exists for that one query. It's all about making your life easier.
And check out how simple this is. In this first example, instead of typing out Konyevek and Serzoks over and over, we just give them nicknames, K and S. So now K.cm is just so much cleaner. Then you can do the same for columns. Using the as keyword, we can rename a column in our final output, turning something ugly like Kiadashi Ev into the much friendlier Kiadas Ev.
And bam! Look at that. The final result has these nice, clean column headers, Kyonyevtsime and Kiadash Eve. It's such a small change in the code, but the output is way more intuitive and professional looking.
Okay, let's build on that with our second power-up. We're leveling up from just tidy queries to smart queries. This is where you learn to solve problems that have more than one step using subqueries.
So here's a classic problem. You want to find all the books written by British authors. Simple enough, right? But wait. To do that, you first have to figure out which authors are British. See, it's a 2-part question, and a subquery is the perfect, elegant way to solve it all at once.
You got to think about it from the inside out. First, that inner query runs. It goes and finds the IDs for all the authors who are British. Then, it takes that list of IDs and just hands it off to the outer query. Finally, the outer query runs, using that list as its filter to find all the books. It's like a little data assembly line.
And here's what it looks like in code. See that part in the parentheses? That's our subquery, the inner query. It runs first and makes a list of author IDs. Then the outer query takes over and says, okay, show me every book title where the author's ID is in this list you just gave me. It is so powerful.
All right, power-up number 3. Let's tackle something you're going to run into all the time in the real world. Your data is scattered across different tables. Union is the tool you need to pull it all together.
So picture this. You have a table of authors and a totally separate table of readers. But you want to see a single master list of every single person involved, authors and readers together. How do you basically stack those 2 lists on top of each other into one?
That's the job of Union. And it has a buddy, Union All. Now, the difference here is really important. Union will combine your 2 lists, but it also automatically gets rid of any duplicates. Super handy. Union All just smashes the 2 lists together, warts and all, duplicates included. It's faster, but you only want to use it if you're sure you don't have duplicates or you actually want to see them.
Let's look at this example. Our authors list and our readers list both have Asimov and Clark. When we use Union, you can see the final result combines them, but Asimov and Clark only show up 1 time each. The command just took care of the duplicates for us. Pretty cool, huh?
And now our final power-up. And honestly, this one is a total game changer. We're going to use something called a case statement to build custom logic right into our query results.
So what if you wanted to label your books as, say, classic or modern based on when they were published? Now, you probably don't want to add a whole new column to your actual table just for this one-time analysis. You just need that label in your results for right now. How in the world do you do that?
The answer is a case statement. The best way to think about it is like putting an if-then-else statement right inside your query. It lets you set up some rules, and based on those rules, it'll create a brand new column with the values you want.
Let's walk through this. For every single row, SQL is going to look at the Kiadashi Ev. It asks, is the year less than 1990? Okay, then we'll put Classic Edition in our new column. Is it 1990 or newer? Then we'll put modern edition. And we take this whole block of logic and give it a name, an alias, called Kiadas Tipusa.
And here is the magic. The result we get back has this brand new column, Kiadas Tipusa, that doesn't even exist in the original table. We just created it out of thin air with our query. Books A from 85 is a classic edition. Books B and C are modern. This is how you start to really enrich your analysis without ever touching the source data.
So let's just pause and take a breath. In just the last few minutes, you've added 4 incredibly useful tools to your SQL toolkit.
I mean, think about what you can do now. You can write clean, readable code using aliases. You can solve tricky, multi-step puzzles with subqueries. You can bring different data sets together with union. And, maybe the coolest of all, you can invent new categories and new information on the fly with case statements.
You've absolutely leveled up. You're not just fetching data anymore. You are interrogating it, you're reshaping it, you're making it tell you its secrets. So the only question left is, what are you going to go discover?